Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of More or Less. Today I am joined by the badass UPSAHL, who just wrapped up a tour with Tovlo. Volume 4 of the PHX Tapes should be on its way. Stay tuned on her socials at UPSAHL, UPSAHL, music for all things UPSAHL. She's so cool. Y'all are gonna love this one, more or less. These days, we can all use more energy, and Mind Plus Beauty's Wellness Facial Oils will give you the energy boost you need. So whether you're heading off to exercise, going for a run, or just having a busy day, simply add the Beauty of Energy oil to your face and experience more gain, less pain. It's the all-natural way to enhance your energy level, and it's made for everyone. Good for your face and good for you. Available with free shipping at mindplusbeauty.com. That's mind, P-L-U-S, beauty.com. Welcome to More or Less, UPSAHL.
Thanks for having me. I'm so stoked.
How are you feeling today, more or less?
I'm feeling great. We were just saying, I feel like I'm still waking up. I'm feeling chaotic. I'm feeling overall, really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? I'm feeling happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be in LA. I need a change of scenery. So I'm glad that we're able to do this, sit down, chit-chat, and have a good time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
What do you need more of and what do you need less of in this moment?
Ooh, in this moment, I need more coffee. Just kidding. No, I need more. I was thinking about that on the way over here. I was getting in my feels on my drive because I was excited for today. And I think I need more time spent in Phoenix, where I'm from, with my family. I spent this past weekend there. Just to hang out with my parents and my siblings, and it was the most refreshing thing ever. I was only there for 2 days, but I came back to LA just a new person. It was amazing. So I think I need more of that, and I think I need less stress. I think I just need to let shit go sometimes, and I have a hard time doing that. I need less of that.
Yeah. How often do you get to go home?
I go home to Phoenix I try to. I mean, it's a 6-hour drive from LA, so it's not crazy. So I try to go whenever I have a few days off. But with scheduling and stuff, it's always harder than it seems. But I think I go back every month or so.
That's pretty
couple
good.
Months. Yeah, I'm really close with my siblings and my parents, so I try to go back as much as I can.
How many siblings do you have?
I have a sister who I take on tour with me, so I get to see her all the time and annoy her all the time. And then I have a brother who's 17, so I mostly go back to see him because I never really get to see him,
Okay.
Yeah.
You're 17, fun age.
Yeah, a crazy age. He's a clone of me, does music, does the whole thing. He's a maniac. He's literally me when I was 17. It's so funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning. When did you first come out to LA?
Yeah, whoa. I moved here in 2018, I think. But before that, I did a couple little random writing trips out here when I was graduating high school or whatever, and didn't know anybody out here. I had one friend that I had met through music, and he was my roommate when I moved here, and he was sort of my introduction into every person I know now, because I literally moved here knowing no one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, moved here 5-6 years ago and hated it for 2 years. I was I have no friends here. This fucking sucks. I was everyone here is fake. This is the worst. And so I just kind of worked all the time and just went to the studio all the time. And then through that met some amazing people who are now my best friends. And then a few years later, all my best friends from Phoenix ended up moving here and working in the industry in some way. So it now is I joke that I'm gonna die in LA. It's my favorite place ever. But it took a second to like it for sure.
Yeah, and you had to work through that. The
it was
growing
tough.
pains of living here.
For sure. Being 19 too, and having no idea who I am, and then being in music and having a team telling me what to do. It was just a lot of growing pains for sure.
And what age did you get signed?
When I was 19, yeah.
Yeah, so all that was happening.
Yeah, and I had no idea who the fuck I was, literally at all, let alone what type of music I wanted to make. And so any opinion someone or any idea someone would give me, I'm okay, slay, let's do that. And then you find out very quickly how easy it can be to lose yourself. It's the classic losing yourself to LA or the big city. And I did, not in a crazy way, but I had to sort of sit down after a year or two here and be okay, so who am I now that I'm in my 20s, what's the tea? It was nice. It was good.
If you could go back in time, would you have changed anything during that
I don't think
period?
so. I don't I don't think so, because I think I learned so much from all of it. I think maybe if I could just go back and like tell myself like to trust my gut instincts a little more. But I feel like everyone wishes they could do that to themselves when they were like younger or whatever. But I think everything happens for a reason, and I think I learned from all of that like a lot. Yeah.
So now being in your 20s, who is UPSAHL now? Like who's
I have no clue. Just kidding. I don't know. I think I'm like learning that. I mean, forever I was really focused on like building UPSAHL as this artist. Like, who is that? And like taking kind of like all the best parts of me, Taylor, and making that UPSAHL. And I think in the past like year or so, I've made a very big effort to like make sure that UPSAHL is like all the good parts of me, but also like all the really shitty parts of me as well. And I think I've been trying to bring that energy into like the studio and into my artist project. And like, I think for so long I was just writing all these songs that were like, I'm a bad bitch, like fuck men. But that's like so not me, like at all. Like I'm an emotional bitch. And like I think I'm just trying to bring that sort of like vulnerability into my music more than ever now, which is fun.
Does the separation ever get weird for you?
Between like artist and I think the only reason it has gotten weird in the past is because I thought that there should be a separation.
Okay.
And now I just feel like the person that I bring like to the stage when I'm performing, or like the person I bring to the studio, or the person I bring to something like this is now I feel like my full self. That's like the same person who's like gonna go to rehearsal after this, and the same person who's gonna like go grab drinks with my friends later. And I think learning to just be like my full self all the time has been incredibly freeing and also incredibly terrifying, because when you're like putting out music and you're giving your full self to it and constantly being that, when people don't like the music, you're like, wait, do you not like me? Like this sucks.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like figuring out a balance, I think, of all of that for sure.
Well, because I asked you like who is UPSAHL now, because it does seem like you have a strong sense of self, like
Word,
compared
thanks.
to what you were saying earlier when
Yeah.
you were younger, and that I'm sure took a lot of work and self-discovery to get to a place where you're like, yeah, that is me.
Totally.
And balancing the parts of you that are emotional and also the bad bitch parts.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like all of us have those parts, and like to show the bad bitch side like way more because it's more empowering. But I think it's also so empowering being like very, especially in music, like so vulnerable and so just like real, I guess. Like sometimes I'll go in the studio and like write a song that I listen to the next day and I'm like, that is so embarrassing. Like I should not have fucking said that. But like that's the point of music. And like how cool would it be if like some random person halfway across the world heard me saying some embarrassing shit and then they're like, wait, I feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's kind of the point. So it's like breaking out of that like comfort zone, I think, for sure.
I want to go back to what you were saying about when you put music out and if someone doesn't like it or doesn't resonate, how does that affect your sense of self? Like, are you able to let it go?
I would like to say yes, because I like try to convince myself that as it's happening that I can. But I think over time, like it definitely manifests itself in like some weird insecurities. Like I put out this song like a couple months ago called Wet White T-shirt that was like a house record. It was all about tits, and I was like, oh, song of the summer.
Fun. It's a
Oh,
bop.
thank you.
That's just
I mean, I don't think a lot of my fans liked it because it was very different than what I've done before. And so at the time I was like, whatever, like I'm just having fun. But then I saw that like little voice in my head like creeping in sessions after that of like, okay, like make sure we're like catering to whoever, you know? And I think like I just recently had a song come out featuring with this amazing K-pop group, Le Sserafim. And K-pop fans are like so ride or die that they were like, don't fuck with our song, like go away, basically. And so that kind of got to me for a second. But then I was just like, I don't know. I think learning how to separate it and realize that like all of these comments, like there's another person on the side of the screen, like saying a comment or like feeling some type of way. And like we're all going through the same shit. And like I guess some people cope with their shit by commenting mean things to other people. And I think just like finding the humanity in that makes it mean a little less, you know?
It says more about the person that's projecting that they're going through their own shit.
Totally.
And that's their way of putting negativity out in the world, and like
Yeah.
that's on them to figure it out.
Yeah, has nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
it's
but
definitely just
I can
them.
only imagine like seeing that kind of crap and feeling like, well, was the song not good? Like, am I not good?
Yeah, you're like, do I need to quit? Yeah, it's scary
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
Have you ever considered quitting? Like, have you ever been that deep into it?
No, I always joke. I'm like, oh no, I have to quit music now. Like something crazy happened. But no, if I quit, I would like go insane. Like this is kind of like the only thing I'm good at, like literally at all. But also just like sort of my lifeline at this point. Like making songs and like playing shows is like everything. Yeah, I don't think I could ever do anything else with my life. Yeah.
And you always wanted to do this?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a pretty like musical family. My dad was in like punk bands and stuff growing up.
Cool.
And so was always, there was like a band room in the house and like just naturally started gravitating towards instruments and stuff. And like, there was never another like option. I went to like an art school when I was 10 and like stayed there until I graduated high school. Like, it was always like the biggest part of my identity was like doing this. And so I think whether that's good or bad, now I'm like, this is what I got. So this is what we got to do. Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
Thanks.
I want to talk about your song Antsy real quick.
Ooh, yeah.
Because one of the lyrics is about asking a doctor for pills and telling you to try breathing.
Yes. I mean, it's weird. I've always had sort of like issues with mental health, but I didn't really know like what they were. I was just like, oh, I get randomly sad and like I constantly feel stressed, which I later realized was like anxiety that was just like weighing over me constantly. And it wasn't until I started realizing that it was like creeping into like my career and like me being in sessions, like being so anxious that I like wouldn't say an idea I had because I was like nervous what people would think about it, which is just like so not the vibe of like a session. Like the goal is to like just throw every idea out and like see what sticks. And so that really annoyed me. I was like, okay, now that this is like it's fine if it affects like my personal life, but if it's affecting like my work, like that's not cool. So I just like went to my doctor and I was like, I think I need Zoloft. And she was like, maybe try like, I don't know, like going on walks, meditating, like, do you drink enough water? Do you eat breakfast? I was like, no to all of those things. Like, I should probably do that first. And so that's sort of when I wrote Antsy, was when I was told that, like, you know, a lot of my mental health was fully within my control and I just, like, wasn't doing the right things. And then it still wasn't helping. So then I eventually got on Zoloft recently, which has changed my life, along with all of the other things, like actually taking care of like my mind and my body and my soul. But yeah, I feel like this past year has been like the first year where I've like really tried to like take my mental health by the balls and like actively work on it, which has been so empowering and like really life-changing, which has been really cool.
It takes a lot of discipline to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that contribute to like your wellness routine?
I think just like me and my friends call them pockets of peace, which is like so stupid.
Sure.
But like aside from like the basic like, yeah, like whether it's cardio or like doing a 15-minute like little Pilates on the floor of like the green room on tour, like just finding little moments to like work out and just like not be on my phone and like be like in tune with my body is amazing. But my pockets of peace are just like on the drive here this morning, I like didn't listen to music for 5 minutes of it. And I was just like, I'm just going to drive and be peaceful and sit in my own thoughts. And I think like finding moments like that, I mean, we all live like very busy, chaotic lives. Like you live in New York. I don't know how you do it. Cause like every time I'm in New York, I have a mental breakdown because that city is like so chaotic. In the best way. Yeah, I feel like you have to be built for that shit. Yeah, I think it's just like finding little moments to like just like check in with yourself. I think that's been the biggest change for me. Like even in the most chaotic, like I'm going to Lollapalooza this weekend and I know I'm going to be so stressed, but like finding little moments of like, even if it's like when I like go to the bathroom to just like look in the mirror and be like, you're killing it today, like slay. I think just moments like that are great.
Yeah. Do you find that it's harder to do that on tour when you're on the road?
Weirdly, no. I feel like I have more of a routine when I'm on tour.
Really?
Which is so weird. I think it's because like when I'm here and I'm in LA, I'm like going to the studio, I'm seeing all of my friends, I'm like running around, sitting in traffic all day, whatever. It's like a lot of like outside noise. And then when I'm on tour, like the only goal of the day is to play the show. And so there's such a routine, even though there's a lot of like traveling and every day it's like a different city. It really is like the same exact routine, but just in a different place every day, which I love. So I feel like the most in my zone on tour. I don't drink when I'm on tour either, which is like incredible. And like, I just feel like the best version of myself when I'm on the road, which is really fun.
What led to the decision to not drink on tour?
It was just that, honestly, it was that I was like losing my voice. It was like a health thing, honestly. Just like when I started touring when I was 19, I was like, I'm gonna be a rock star, like raging every night. And like in theory, it's so fun. And then it caught up to me after like a week, and I was like getting sick, and I was tired, and I was hungover, and like it didn't really hit me until the end of last year. I went on my first headlining tour, and I had like this moment with myself of like, as fun as this is, like raging on the road, it really is so fun. Like these people like who are coming to the show, like it's no longer like you're opening for someone. Like they bought tickets to come see like my show. And if I'm not doing everything in my power to like put on the best show possible, and like I'm whatever, like I don't want to be like putting on a show and like I lost my voice because I was drinking 3 days in a row or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think it was that. It was more just wanting to put on the best show possible. And then a few weeks into that, I was like, this is amazing. I feel so like in my body. My head is like so clear. Like I just felt incredible. And like, so yeah, I do that anytime I'm on the road. And then also sometimes just when I'm here, like in LA, I do little like breaks from drinking, and like it's so amazing.
That's so interesting. I haven't heard a lot of people say that they're sober on the road.
I know.
Because I feel, I mean, I don't know because I'm not an artist, but I can only imagine the adrenaline after you come off stage.
Right.
And trying to fall asleep after that can be really challenging, I would assume.
Totally.
That's why people go towards like drugs and alcohol after a show, to just keep that high going.
Yeah, definitely.
So kudos to you for being
Thanks.
able to hold space for yourself.
I mean, I will say like the adrenaline kind of is that it's that natural like high or whatever. So I kind of get a weird fix somehow, like, and that to me is enough. But it is so weird, like going from like being on stage and everyone's like, "Woo, like I love you," to like dead silent in your hotel room, and you're like, this is weird. And it definitely takes a toll, I think, on your brain, because it's just like this spike every night and then it's like a low again. And so like it's definitely a weird thing to manage. I still haven't figured it out, but it's weird.
Yeah, because then you also like spend the day leading up to that moment, and then it's over, but then you get to do it again.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's just also too like when you get home from tour, you go from this like routine of like adrenaline spikes every day or every few days to then like you're just like cooking dinner alone in your house, and you're like, where is my adrenaline? Like what's good? Your brain like literally is confused. And that's why that's called like the post-tour blues. Like I feel like any artist you ask gets like pretty depressed for like a week after tour. And like for a while I would like just try to like fight it and like fill up my schedule and like stay busy, which I still kind of do. But like recently I've been learning to just lean into the depression. I'm just like, this is like how I'm supposed to feel. My brain is just like, and my body is processing like this past month of tour or whatever. Like, and I just kind of like let it happen, which has been honestly kind of nice. Yeah.
Do you feel like your health needs to be scheduled into your day? Our morning coffee, our supplements, our skincare, we're limited on the products that help us maintain a balanced lifestyle in an easy, healthy, and convenient way. So our friends at Neuro Functional Gum and Mints did exactly that with their nootropic blends that enhance your health and wellness into something intrinsically convenient, affordable, and portable. We at More or Less have loved these energy and focus mints with a patented formula of B vitamins, L-theanine, and natural caffeine to give us the energy and mental endurance necessary to stay focused and energized without the crash or jitters. I've been hyping up Neuro for quite some time, so I'm super excited to partner with them for another season of More or Less. If you'd like Neuro by your side too, use the link in our description and use code More or Less for 10% off your first purchase of Neuro Gum and Mints. So you mentioned you recently started taking Zoloft. How has that changed your relationship with your own anxiety?
It's like been quite amazing. If you like are close to me, like or anyone in my life, like I'm annoying at this point about like how much I talk about it. I'm like the Zoloft.
No,
like,
I want you to
queen.
talk about it because I don't think, I mean, medication isn't for everyone, but I also don't think talking about it is really normalized. I'm on medication too, and it's changed my life, and there's a reason I'm still on it like 8 years later.
That's incredible.
But I think there's really value there and like more artists talking about it, so please take it away.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, my best friend started it, and I watched her life just like change within like 5 to 6 months. Like everything about her like changed. Like she was very, very anxious, and I was like, this is like beautiful to watch you fully just feel like in your body and grow into yourself. Yeah. And I was like, it didn't really hit me until then that I was like, there's so many little things about my life that are like just anxious things that I do that I've normalized. Like it's not normal to like, oh my God, this is like so outing myself, but I feel like I'm not the only one that does this. But like, it's not normal to like pull up to like a session, right? But I'm like anxious to go in. So I end up like sitting in my car trying to like calm myself down. And then I'm 20 minutes late because I was like in my car, like calming myself down for what? To like sit in a room with 2 people and like write a song? Like it's really not that deep. And I was doing that for like 5 years. And I was like, why? Just like little things like that. There were so many things that I realized were not normal that I completely normalized. And so once I got on like a very small dose, because I didn't want to mess, I also had this fear of like losing my edge or whatever with as an artist.
Which is a valid concern. People talk about that all the time.
Yes.
People think that if you go on medication, it'll mute everything and you won't be able to be creative.
Right. And so I told that to my doctor, and I was like, I want to start like really small and see like whatever. And like the smallest dose that I started on is like what I'm saying on, and it's incredible, and it just like has balanced out so many parts of my life. And like as far as like my relationship with my anxiety, it's obviously still there, but it's like being able to be like, that's a thought, but that's not like real, and I'm gonna like let that pass has been something that's been new for me since I started it. And yeah, just seeing how it's affected like honestly, like my songwriting has been the most like rewarding thing. It's been really exciting.
Great.
Yeah, it's
That's
been cool.
really incredible.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now you don't have to sit in the car for 20 minutes before a session?
Yeah, I'm like pulling up. I'm like, let's run it. Here's how I'm feeling. Like honestly, it's changed the session. That's why I started it, was because of sessions, and it like really has changed everything. It's been dope.
That's incredible. How long has it been?
It's been like 5 months now. So I still feel like I am continuing to see it get better and better, because I think it takes like a while for it to like fully like for you to see all the results. But I started seeing like my life change like 2 to 3 months in. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, that's usually like the time span that it takes for you to like notice some subtle changes.
Right.
It's also, and I want to acknowledge too for anyone listening, usually the first medication you try is not the one that you'll stick with. I was lucky in the case that I stuck with what I started with, but it's really rare, I've found in talking to more people, that like it's a lot of trial and error, and it can be really frustrating. But when you find the right dose, or like the little bit of edge for you, that little small milligrams that you need, like it can really make all the difference in your life.
Totally.
So thank you for being open about that.
Oh my gosh, no, you got the safe space going here. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I really think it's so important to talk about. We bring up medication a little bit on the show, but I think everyone is in this like self-diagnosis era. Like you're getting information from TikTok and like
everywhere,
all these different platforms about mental health. Absolutely talk to your doctor and like figure out what works for you. Like everyone's journey is individual. So thank you for being open.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So talk to me about what's coming down the pipeline now for the rest of the year.
I'm playing Lollapalooza next
I am
weekend,
so excited for you.
So excited for.
We have so many guests on the show that are playing Lolla this weekend.
Sick.
And I wish I was going.
Dude, last minute, let's run it. Just kidding.
Every year I'm like, I wish I was going to Lolla, because the lineup gets better and better every single year.
It's a fun lineup this year. I mean, I'm just more stoked to play. I'm doing Outside Lands the weekend after, and I got like me and all my friends are just going for the full weekend and just like gonna make it so fun. Yeah, so
that's
I'm just stoked for that. Yeah, in San Francisco.
Sick.
Yeah. So I have that, and then I'm opening for Tove Lo on tour, which I'm like so fucking excited for. I'm like such a fan of her, and that's gonna be really fun. And then I'm putting out a song in a couple weeks called 0 or 100 that's very much about like mental health, and I'm very excited for that. Yeah, just more music, more shows, doing the thing. Yeah.
Any plans for like a full-length project?
Yes, I just kind of started like the beginning, like the birth of an idea for a project for next year. And I'm very, very excited. It's cool. Like, it's also so weird, like putting out music. I'm in the middle of putting out a project called the PHX Tapes right now. And now that that's like done being written, I'm already like thinking about the next project, which is weird because I'm like still living in this world. So it's cool like balancing the two. But I'm very excited to put out new music and just continue. Yeah.
I feel like that's common too. You're like already thinking about the next thing, but you're
Yeah.
living in the promo cycle for one thing.
Right.
I feel that way about the show sometimes.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's
do you
trippy.
struggle with staying present?
Not recently. I think like musically, no, because I'm so excited about music recently and just like the songs I've been putting out this year have been so all over the place and like I've just kind of been doing whatever I want, which has been like so fun.
And as a listener, I gotta tell you, like, it translates.
Sick.
Like, it just seems like you're
fun.
having a good time, living your best life.
Sick.
And that's a fun way to consume music for me.
Thanks. I think that's like the goal. I just wanted to like not care about genre and just like have fun this year. So I'm doing that, which is cool. And then my album that I'm working on is like obviously a little more like focused and less like I'm just having fun. But I think what's made me be able to be so present is because of the PHX Tapes and how free the whole process has been. Like the song I'm putting out next week, I wrote like a month ago and was like, I'm putting this out. And so it's really fun to like still be like freshly excited about the songs. Like it's been a really cool process. Yeah.
How are you able to do that so fast, being signed to sort of a major?
Yeah. I mean, I feel lucky my team is like down to move fast. I think it's only when I feel like really strongly about something and I'm like, we're doing
You're
this.
fighting for it.
They're like, all right, we're doing it. Like you lead the charge. So like, yeah, I feel lucky to have a team that's down to move fast because I know that's not the case most of the time. But yeah, especially with the song that's coming out soon, it's like, yeah, it was like I called them the day I wrote it. I was like, we need to put this out like in a month. And it worked out, which is cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
The PHX Tapes, it's pretty much all you, right? It's not like collaborations?
Yeah, it's all me. I've been working on some collaborations that hopefully will come out on this project, if not the next. But yeah, it's me so far. Yeah.
Okay. For anyone listening, Taylor's a kick-ass songwriter.
Hey.
Like, you have some pretty sick cuts. Madison
Thanks.
Beer, Dua Lipa, recently Demi.
Yeah.
Have those been dream collaborations for you? Like, how did those come about?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I was going to be a songwriter for other people until it happened, like, by accident, I guess. Like, I wrote this song called Good in Bed and I thought it was going to be, like, for my artist project at the time. And wrote it with Melanie and Lindgren, who are the writers on it. And it just kind of sat in, like, a Dropbox folder forever. And then somehow got sent to, like, Dua Lipa's team because, you know, demos get sent around all the time. And then I got this email that I thought was like spam or something, like a joke. And it was like, Dua Lipa is going to cut whatever. And I was like, whatever. Like, I'll be excited when it's on Spotify. Like, that's not happening. And then it happened. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. Like, such an honor. I'm such a fan of her. And then that sort of happening by accident opened the door for me to, like, start writing for other people and, like, learning how to do that. Like, because it's such a different, like, side of your brain, I think, than, like, being an artist. Like, when you're an artist, like, you have other writers in the room helping you to tell your story. And when you're the writer, you're helping the artist tell theirs. So it's been really cool, especially just getting to work with, like, all the badass, like, women artists that I look up to. And especially, like, working with Demi is crazy because I just, like, grew up, like, idolizing them. And, like, getting to watch their creative process has been, like, such a dream. It's been really cool.
That's incredible. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. It's been cool.
Amazing. What is, like, your next goal, ambition? Like, what is the thing you want to cross off the bucket list next?
Ooh. I think my second full-length album, I think, is going to be, like, something that feels really good to do. I'm, like, putting out my first album, Lady Jesus, was very, like, felt like I had spent my whole career, like, leading up to that point.
Everyone says that. You spend your whole life writing your first album.
Yeah. And then you get there and you're like, it feels so good. And now I'm at the point where I'm, like, hoping that the feeling of putting out the next one feels the same way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Thanks,
well,
yeah.
The last question I'm going to ask you is, what is one thing you've done this week, today, it's a new month, to take care of your mental health?
Ooh. Lots of hiking. There's this hike kind of by my house with, like, a waterfall, like, through a creek. It's gorgeous. And if you go, like, 7, it's all foggy. That's a great way to start my day. I didn't do that today, but I did it yesterday and it was great.
Have you always been, like, a nature person?
No. This is like, my Zoloft, like, coming into play. It's like we're gonna get out in nature, like, and start to feel good. This is like my new.
It's
the
really
new
good for you,
version
though.
of
Sunlight
myself.
is really good for you. Like
Sunlight
being
in the
out.
morning.
I mean, that's the thing about New York that I don't get, which makes me sad. I just
Right.
get a lot of pollution and
Mood.
noise, but I wish I had more opportunities to be out in trees and nature.
Yeah.
Because there is something to that. Like, it absolutely affects the serotonin.
100%. Yeah. Or like I went to the beach last night. It was my friend's birthday, and we just like hung out on the beach all night. Like being by the water is so like rejuvenating. Like, yeah, I think nature is really helpful.
That's
for
the good
sure.
parts of LA, man. I talk a lot
know.
of shit about LA, but you can do that for fun, like go to the beach at night and hang out.
And
like,
it's not like far out of the way.
yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. Living the dream.
Try in New York, you're living the dream too, girl.
It's two different
we're
kinds
out
of
here.
dreams.
Yeah, very different dreams we're living, but fuck yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on the show. This
Yeah,
was such a
thank
good
you.
time,
This
such
was
a good
great.
conversation, and I'm so excited for what's to come for you.
Thank
It's amazing.
you. Appreciate you. This was fun.
Yeah, that's a wrap, guys.
Hey.
Yay!
You're so dope. Thank you so
Can I give you a
much,
hug?
dude. Oh my god.